Online online exclusive. Ow!
Hey Punchers, we are back for our Mother's Day special, and I am here with another mom. This time, Riley Rossmo's mom. Welcome to Punch TV. And this month we're celebrating all things moms for Mother's Day. And got a few questions for you.
Okay.
Maybe some things that we could learn about Riley when he was a little kid.
Sure.
I see you got a bunch of goodies here for us too.
I do.
So speaking of Riley when he was young, what was he like when he was a kid?
You know, Riley was always, first of all, he was a really easy baby and always a really kind, he was a good kid. Teenage years changed a little bit, but he was just always a really kind-hearted, loving,
Really?
gentle soul.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
So when did you first notice that he was getting into art and especially like drawing and things like that?
Well, very early on. My mom was always an artist, and so she really encouraged his art, but he was naturally inclined to that. I would say when he was a toddler, probably 3-4 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, always liked to draw. In fact, as he got older into later years of elementary school, the message always was, great kid, does, okay in school, but draws on everything, everything. The covers of his books, the desk, everything.
Classic.
Yeah.
And you got a little something in here, like
Sure.
maybe a first drawing or something? that you could
Sure.
see?
Well, I can show you. This is one of his first books. It's called My Book of Idioms.
Ooh.
So it would have been a school assignment, and so idioms were given to the kids, and then they were to put drawings to them. So this is what it means when it says, "Money burns a hole in my pocket." Yes, that's what it looks like.
And you know what? Growing up, money did burn a hole in my pocket. Yep. My sister, she's the saver. Yeah.
There are a few in here, but I'll show you a couple of them. When the expression "lose your head," so this is when you lose your head. It comes right off. So he took it quite literally and artistically, and looks like a car is coming. I'm not sure. It's, yeah. So,
So this could be like the start of like some of the more violent things that Riley has put onto.
Well, I would say this might be sort of more of the, and this he was about, I'm not quite sure what year this was. So he took French immersion. He studied as a French student. And this is a book about dragons. I'm not quite sure what this says, something of the dragon. Anyone who's French would know that. And so, yeah, he starts doing a bunch of illustrations, and you can see that they're always, interestingly sort of gothic. You can see it coming
Knights
through
wearing
there.
black armor. We know
Right?
what that means. They're
Yes.
the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So that was very, very into it early on.
So could you tell when you saw these that Riley was on a path to future stardom in the whole pop culture and comic world?
Well, if I'm honest with you, I didn't see it.
Hey, we're being honest.
Yeah,
here.
I didn't see it then. I mean, supportive of his artistic, he always had a very vivid imagination. Like some kids who have vivid imaginations that they can almost be overcome by them. That would be the case. So he early on got into comics. We lived near the Old Tramp store.
Nice.
And so he was a regular there. And I'm told that he was occasionally into the bins of throw-out comics, getting the free comics, because we didn't have a lot of money. So, yeah.
But from what I'm getting here, that you were very supportive of his artistic
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. I will say, though, when he finished high school and moved to Calgary, we didn't really realize that he would get into art school and pursue it then. I mean, he was always doing, from quite an early age, submissions, even in high school, after high school. So didn't really know that was the direction it was going, but I mean, clearly he was enmeshed in art. Yeah.
So what is the best thing about being the mom of a now famous comic book creator artist?
I'm just excited for him. I'm excited. I think as a mom, you get excited about your kids doing what they love to do and feeling joy in whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. And he just gets so much joy out of what he does, and that's exciting. That's gratifying. I will say that I traveled to Europe about 5 years ago and went into some comic stores, and it was so exciting in Lisbon to go into a comic store and find his comic. And,
that's my son.
Yeah, that's my son. Talk to the owner, and so that was exciting. Yeah, so to kind of see like this is beyond sort of the little world I know.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, D&D, magic, and more for over 30 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com. In person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
When you were growing up, did you read comics?
You know, I was not the same kind of comics he does. I was a big Millie the Model. That was one of my
classic,
faves.
yeah.
Yes, certainly Archie, but Millie the Model was my fave, yeah. And all her people, you know, that were in the comic with her.
And did you ever get into the superhero comics? Like, did you have a favorite, like Superman or Batman or somebody?
No, not so much. No, not really. No.
That's good, because then that way you don't have to pick a side.
This is true.
Because then I would ask you to pick a side. But I'm sure that some of the content in Riley's comics are judging by, you know, what you like when you were growing, probably aren't your favorite thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate.
But you can appreciate it because Riley did
sure.
it.
Yeah, absolutely, I can. Yeah.
So speaking of pop culture, what are your favorite movies? What kind of movies do you like?
I'm sort of a bit of a. I'm a bit of a rom-com kind of girl, and I also like funny movies in our family. We've been known to kind of have a few movies that everybody must see, like Christmas Vacation, The Great Outdoors. Those are sort of our thing, you know. Yeah.
Now, if you had to pick one, would you be more Star Wars or Star Trek?
Definitely. I was never a Star Trek fan.
I hear Tony clapping in the background. Really? Wrong answer. Okay, we were sitting here at Star Trek. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well,
I thought we were friends.
I know.
Everybody always going with what Tony likes. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's
I
fine.
have two brothers. They like Star Trek. Me, not so much.
Okay,
so when came along, that's my thing. That's my jam.
I understand. That's fine. Yep. What is the best thing about being a mom?
Oh, the best thing is just seeing, being part of the lives of amazing. I have 3 sons, and they're just all amazing young people, and they do such wonderful things, and I just feel so grateful and blessed to be able to be part of their lives.
What word has it that you're a grandma now, too?
I am a grandma a number of times over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's the best part about being a grandma?
Oh, definitely the best part is being able to, you know, indulge them in things, and then they go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get to spend time with them. We get to stay up late, eat whatever, and then, you know, if they don't sleep very much, they've had a lot of sugar, you know, it's they can go home and enjoy their time with their parents.
Good.
Yeah.
So 3 boys, no girls?
No girls.
So having 3 boys in the house, what was that like?
Honestly, it was active.
Yeah.
Yes. All 3 creative young people. I did want to show you actually a few more props, just so that folks could know that Riley wasn't just always into comics. So he was a cowboy for a time. Yes, I'm not sure if people can see.
Cowboy
Yes.
Riley.
Yes, I don't know if that's Cowboy Ninja Viking. I'm not sure if there was an influence
Wow.
there. Yeah.
Do you remember what the horse's name was?
I believe it is Tyrone.
Tyrone the horse.
It's written on the back. That's Tyrone.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like a Tyrone. Yeah.
And he was a cyclist as well.
Nice.
You know, he was into cycling. But this is the best one. I thought you'd enjoy this. He was a superhero. He's Superman.
The truth comes out.
Yes. He's 5 years old there, Superman. And I think, I'm not quite sure what kind of a weapon device that is, but there's something happening there.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
And those are Garfield slippers, are they?
They definitely are Garfield.
Yeah, they
Thank
are.
you. I had forgotten
they
about
are.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
yes.
new Garfield movie coming out this year? It's popular again.
I did not know that.
Popular
yes.
again.
Yes. So he was
Oh,
always, you know, into doing lots of different roles.
Nice.
Like to play different things. Yeah.
What is the worst part about being a mom?
Oh, the worst is when you see your kids having tough times. That's really hard. When you can't do anything about it, and you just hope and pray that they navigate whatever the tough times are. That's the hardest.
Now, after reading everything that Riley has done, I may have missed it, but is there something where you are in some of his work? Because I've yet to see you appear anywhere. Or did I miss it?
I've been asking that same question. When am I going to appear in something?
Because you would think, especially being one of the most important people, like bringing, like giving life to Riley, that you would be like in there.
Unless I've been depicted as something that I don't know, and it could be not a good thing.
We'll ask him and we'll find out. But if not, I'm sure after he watches this that you will be probably in the next work that he does.
Well, and if when he goes on to win, the Disney Award or something like that, he knows that I am the first person he's got to get up and thank. My mom was the one.
And you would be going with him, obviously, to be there.
Definitely.
So you'd be like, that's my mom. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start campaigning for you to be in some of Riley's work, because that's weird you're not already, right?
Although we do want to be a bit cautious with that, because we don't know what I would be. And that might...
What would you like to be?
Oh, well...
Let's figure this out right now.
Every Halloween, this might be helpful in kind of figuring that out. Every Halloween, I dress up as the same thing. It is Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter.
From our favorite Harry Potter.
Yes, and I'm pretty good. So I think I could be depicted as some wise teacher. Some.
Okay.
With a lot of style, though.
I'm sure Riley can make that happen.
I think so. Yeah.
So your team's, but then your house Gryffindor then?
I am.
Okay, then we're fine.
Yeah.
Then we're fine. We're back. We're friends again.
Well, Riley's daughter has this test. I don't know, something from the internet where you test to see what house you're in. Sadly, I did not come up Gryffindor. I am Team Gryffindor, but I haven't actually registered as a Gryffindor.
Now, if you're watching this on the internet right now, everything on the internet is true. It's everything we're saying. Yeah. But usually the rest of the stuff, the internet lies.
Right.
It lies. Gryffindor. Yeah. I did the same test. I did get Gryffindor. Even the new video game that was out, I got Gryffindor. But you can't rely on that. Gryffindor, it's how you feel on the inside.
Yeah. I was Hufflepuff. I was kind of disappointed.
No.
Could have been worse, but
it could have been worse, but
right?
Hufflepuff, no.
Right, yeah.
Because as soon as I saw, like right here when we met, I went Gryffindor.
Oh.
I could feel it.
Thank you.
I could feel it.
Nice. Thank you.
What is this here?
Oh, this is just one more piece of art. I don't have the date on here. This, I believe, my mom had this framed at one time. So this is a piece of Riley's work. Yes, it looks like some kind of flying things, planes of some kind. There's a lot of destruction happening there.
I see like through a lot of the stuff you show a theme of destruction, chaos, a lot of violence. It's
And he's such a gentle, kind person.
And then you picture somebody with the Garfield slippers drawing that. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know how to think. I don't know how to feel.
I know. He's complex. Yes. Yeah. So. Yeah, but we're always proud of all the work he does. And he was, I want to say he was like maybe 5 or 6-ish when he did that. So he was very talented early on.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Now we get to the part where you can tell me some embarrassing things that, that maybe the Punch viewers need to know. Because we really want to this is all about getting to know you, but also getting to know, like, who is Riley?
Yeah. Well, he was always, like I said, very kind, very honest. There were a couple of times when, he kind of snuck around a little bit. Like I say, the teenage years. He liked to get into some mischief with his brother and the neighborhood kids. They had, some candy stashes outside, climbed out bedroom windows, with the babysitter there. And,
really?
Yeah. And then, when he was a teenager, maybe might have caught him smoking.
No.
He doesn't smoke now, but, that did happen. And he sort of just tried to run away from it. But there was a moment, we had to talk about it.
One, I guess you should fire a babysitter. 2, climbing out a window?
I know.
That's not right.
I know.
That's not good.
I know.
That's not good at all.
It was chaos when I was gone.
But no cop cars pulling up in front of the house at 3 a.m?
No, nothing like that. No,
Ah.
like I say, he was a pretty good kid. Just that kind of, dark teenage years. There was a little bumpy, but he's
letting out all of that other stuff like through the artwork.
I think so. I think it's a release.
Actually...
Yes, most definitely. Yeah.
Punch TV is brought to you in part by Amazing Stories, providing Saskatoon with comics, games, toys, D&D, magic, and more for over 30 years. Online at AmazingStoriesComics.com. In person on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Well, the smoking story is he's walking down an alley, and we had a few years there where it was a little bit rough when he was a teenager, but so we weren't really communicating a lot. And so I'm driving down Preston, and the alley behind like where this Canadian store is, the Grosvenor Park Shopping Center.
Oh yeah.
I see him walking there in his dark black clothes, smoking. I thought, oh my gosh. So I rip up, go down the alley, and he's like, what? And he puts out the cigarette, like, oh, what? And he was mad at me for catching him smoking. What?
The Riley that I know would never do that.
Really?
Would never do that,
Yeah.
no. And he's trying to set a fine example for everybody, including the youth, and including, like being a dad now, right?
Yes.
Like he's got to set an example.
Yes. Yes, he does set a good example.
Yeah.
He's a very...
But now we've got this so he can be like, listen, kids, don't do what I did.
Yes. Yes. Well, he does share with his daughter. She likes to hear those stories of mischievous.
Yeah. And then when mom catches you, you go, sorry, mom.
Yeah. Dad did it, so...
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
being on the
you.
show. It was really
It was
nice
my
meeting
pleasure.
you. Thanks for supporting Riley, because without parental support, you know what happens. We don't end up with cool stuff.
A few moments later.
So how many ants were attracted to the candy under the tree?
Exactly.
It got rained on. Candy did get rained on. And then I tapped out. But the neighbor, our neighbor was also involved in it. He would still eat the old beer candy.
So we spent money on that. I don't let this
Maybe
candy
I
go.
tapped out and I just kept eating it.
I don't know.
That explains a lot, though. All that weird candy outside. Now you're just kind of got the shakes all the time. Yeah, I understand.
One thing that Riley frequently bumped his head a lot. Like he went for stitches, honestly, I don't know how many times, must be half a dozen times, like one time he had a little car on the sidewalk at the back, and it was kind of heaved, and he plowed into it and smacked his head and split it open. And then another time in the bathtub, he cracked his lip open. And then at the hills, at the hill at school, cracked into somebody's head and split the lip open again, and has quite a few stitches.
Did you take him for an eye exam?
I didn't, but maybe I should have. Yeah, yeah. I think he
There's
was
the
just
one,
like,
yeah.
Thinking all the time. He was a thinker.
Yeah.
Always thinking about other
Not
things.
paying I can see it.
Yeah.
Speaking of candy, one year when I was in about grade 4, the Easter Bunny came.
Yes.
And we lived in Oakville, Ontario. And so it was very warm out for Easter. And so the Easter Bunny decided to leave a bunch of Easter treats like outside as well.
Oh, yes.
So then my sister and I were collecting all the treats and bring it in. And then there was this huge foil egg. And I'm like, yeah, there was only one. And she was like, it's mine. And I'm like, I got it first. And then they're like, yeah, okay, kids, just share the egg. And we're like, okay. So we cracked that thing open. Every ant from like a mile around and every other weird bug had got inside that thing overnight. And just like, all over I need to find that. We got it on home video somewhere. I need to see it. But it's like after that, I'm like, never again. And so one thing that I learned was that in the future, somehow the word got out. The Easter Bunny has never left anything outside ever again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have got out. They have this ability, right? The Easter Bunny to kind of...
But I still remember how it was very frightening. It was very frightening. It was like, and then I'm like, do I eat the rest of the candy? I'm like, you know what? Maybe we don't eat the rest of the candy.
I think this could make its way into a comic or a graphic novel. Just saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got you in there already. We know what you want to play. And then we
Yes.
throw that in there with the,
Yes.
okay, I'm liking it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm liking
The
it.
ants coming out of the egg, and I mean, it's just could go from there.
So we'll get Riley to sell that idea to one of his publishers.
Yes,
people,
yes,
and then,
no doubt.
Yeah. So the next time you're going to see both of us together will be when we're signing our comic.
Yeah, because we want rights to that.
Darn rights.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all the royalties.
Yes.
All
yes.
the sweet royalties.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.